Finally, the extermination was over. Everyone was safe inside the hotel. Luckily, they all made it. The fear of not making it in was quite the big one. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, knowing the extermination was done, as the clock chimed loudly. Charlie slowly left her room as she looked around, no longer hearing screaming and the sounds of demons being impaled. Charlie had a sad look on her face as she let out a sigh. "Thank Lucifer, it's over," Vaggie sighed as she walked out behind her. Vaggie looked at Charlie, knowing she was upset about all this.
I thought the hotel would have helped redeem someone by now.
Charlie's voice was soft and upset. Vaggie put a hand on her shoulder. "It's okay, Charlie. We just have to keep trying. That's what you always tell me." She gave her a reassuring smile that made Charlie remember not to lose hope. Charlie smiled in return.
Thanks, Vaggie. Sooner or later, someone is going to go to heaven. I just wish there was more of a sign it was possible.
Charlie looked away, thinking about it all. That thought didn't last very long when a loud thump was heard at the hotel's doorstep. It made everyone freeze. It was like a loud gunshot. Charlie quickly ran downstairs as Nifty attempted to look out the window.
There's a big thing outside of the hotel. I gotta go clean it up.
Nifty anxiously watched the window. Vaggie ran downstairs, pulling out her spear.
"I don't trust it! How do we know it's not one of those angels looking for a last-minute kill?"
Charlie looked at the door and just had a feeling she should open it.
Let me just take a quick look.
Charlie nervously spoke as she put her hand on the doorknob, opening it gently. What she saw? Not at all what she was expecting. A large plant-like creature was on the ground, damaged and ripped up. Nifty popped her head out of the door to see what fell.
Oh, it's not a ripped-off arm?
She asked. Charlie began to look over the demon to see if it was alive. It was breathing slowly. It was in awful condition.
We have to help it!
Charlie called out to Vaggie.
"But Charlie, it's huge! It's not gonna fit into the hotel!"
She yelled back.
We have to try! He isn't going to make it if we don't do something!
She looked up at the plant's face as she spoke. The next 20 minutes were spent attempting to get him into the hotel, which they ended up being able to through a large back door. Once they got him in, they left out 4 different bed mattresses for him to rest on.
He doesn't look too good. How did he even survive at all?
Charlie asked herself. Nifty just stared at the creature, amazed by his looks.
He's really pretty.
She spoke as she stared.
Not the best time for that, Nifty.
Charlie said, still concerned for the creature. Suddenly, they heard some movement. He was waking up.
What is this place?
He grunted out in pain.
You're at the Happy Hotel!
Nifty cheered. Sumitra tried to lift himself up, looking worried.
I need to get out of here. I have to...
The demon was cut off by a sharp pain in his hand. He winced at the pain.
You can't go yet. You're badly hurt. You need a chance to recover.
Charlie put her hand on the creature's very large hand, trying to calm him down.
How do I know you're not just going to try and kill me too?
His voice was shaking. He was afraid in this state he could be easily killed.
We wouldn't do that. This is a place for redemption, silly.
Nifty said, standing tall.
I can't trust you. Not anyone. You could all be lying.
He tried to get back up again, but the pain was even worse than before. He felt his eyes begin to fill with tears. It was unbearable.
Nifty, let me talk to him. I will help him.
Charlie looked back at Nifty as she kindly motioned for her to leave the room. Nifty nodded as she grabbed a broom and zipped off.
My name is Charlie, the Princess of Hell. I promise you, no one will harm you here.
Charlie tried to show he was safe.
That had better be true.
He winced at the sharp pain going through his arm and hand as a vine wrapped around the damaged area. Charlie placed her hand on the plants once more.
What's your name?
She softly asked.
Sumitra.
He responded, beginning to whimper more at the pain.
Don't worry, we are going to help you here. We can keep you safe for as long as you need.
She gave him a kind smile.
Please, just keep me away from them. keep me away from everyone. I don't want to hurt anyone anymore.
He sobbed, starting to feel safe with the princess.
Okay, I can do that for you. I promise no one will hurt you anymore.
She closed her eyes, leaning against one of his large hands.
Thank you.
He stuttered, still feeling the pain running through his arm. Charlie got up and smiled.
Let me get you patched up, okay?
Sumitra nodded a yes, not saying anything more. Charlie ran off for a moment to go into the other room to grab some bandages and such to help Sumitra's arm.
So, is he a threat? Do I have to force him out?
Faggy asked as she watched Charlie try to get the equipment.
No, I don't think he is. He got hurt during the extermination and needs some help. No forcing out needed.
She smiled, happy it wasn't some threat at the door.
Okay then. I'm still gonna keep watch.
Faggy stood with a spear in hand. Charlie smiled and booped her nose.
I know. I can always count on you.
Faggy smiled gently at Charlie's gesture as she watched her run back into the main room. Sumitra watched every movement the princess made as she wrapped his hand in the bandages.
There we go. That should do it. Now, I want you to stay here and rest. We will have a place ready for you to stay in the morning.
Charlie explained, staring at Sumitra.
Thank you again. You didn't have to help me.
Sumitra's voice quietly let out.
Nonsense. I help anyone I can, especially when they need it most.
Charlie went towards the door.
Sleep well, Sumitra,
she said, closing the door behind her. Sumitra stared at the door for a moment before shutting his eyes and attempting to rest. He didn't think he deserved any help or to be saved. But here he was, being protected by the Princess of Hell herself. Those thoughts ran through his mind before he fell asleep. At the top of the stairs stood the radio demon. He stared at the creature and thought,
Sumitra. That's a curious name. Sumitra. No, Sumitra. That's not right either. Can't be right, no. Selection. No, sumo wrestler. Stun grenade. Damn it!